Hello everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, everywhere this is going to be going live. Welcome to the broadcast. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions. Welcome to the show. As today's title implies, when life throws you a curveball, go with the flow. But welcome to the show. Please like, share, and follow so that other people can get in on all of the fandom talk that we talk about here. And welcome to the show, Mr. Roy Joe Sparkle Butt Twinkle Toes Bradley Twilight Pacifier Lacquers Lover Bradley Jr. Welcome to the show. So, we talk about all kinds of goody good stuff here, from comic books, movies related to comic books, movies, horror, movies, science fiction. We don't like them drama things. We don't like them. I mean, we do like thrillers, and we do like action, but get away from the drama. But we also talk about my artwork, stuff that's coming out, cool stuff, paranormal, you know, cryptids, all kinds of cool stuff. So, if you're not here for that, you know where the door is. And good morning. And like I said, when life throws you a curveball, you go with the flow. And going with the flow is what it is all about. And so, you know, life has thrown some curveballs our direction over here, but we're going with the flow. Whatever happens, happens, and we just live life and keep moving forward. And so there you have that. And we'll take a moment out of our busy day today to congratulate the new NBA champions, Oklahoma City Thunder, my hometown area. And they had a great series against the pacifiers, the little diaper wetters from Indy. And, they prevailed. They won in game 7 in grand fashion and brought a championship to Oklahoma City for the first time in franchise history, which the franchise hasn't been around that long. But congratulations to Oklahoma City Thunder and many more to come, as they do have 5 first-round picks this year in the draft, thanks to the trade that happened with the Paul George trade and all that good stuff that happened. So, there you go. And my first of many prints that have my new foil sticker on them will be going out soon. I got to add one more thing to this before I send it off. But there you go. You can see that little foil sticker down there that's got my logo on it. For you up here. There you go. You get to see it shine and glitter. Just like that trophy that was hoisted up last night. There you go. All right. So, what do you do when life gets hectic for you? Do you go with the flow, or do you let it beat you down? A lot of people just let it beat them down, and they don't like going with the flow. They get angry. They get angsty. They get all kinds of stuff. You know what I need to do? Where's my? There it is. Bum bum bum. Exacto knife. You know what that means? I'm gonna open up the package. I'm gonna open up this package that I've had sitting around here for nearly 2 months. It's comic books. Yes, yes it is. Karma Police by Vault Comics. And Casey, if you show up, I have not got that downloaded yet because it's having troubles reading it. Engine Ward. Well, let me show you this. Karma Police. It's a wrap. Whoop, it's a wraparound, and that didn't hurt the cover good. And it's a wraparound cover. I mean, it's a full front and back cover. Engine Ward. It's a weird name. Right there. Another Engine Ward by Bolt Comics. That was number 1. This one's number 10. And it's a wraparound cover as well. He's got the snake bites on his lips. You got Erratic, number 2 of 5. It's a lot like Spider-Man. And then you've got Badass, number 1. Which I picked up Badass before, which wasn't number 1. It was another one. But it was like, I need to see if I can find the rest of these. And I did. I found another one. It's very cool looking stuff. Black and white with some color inside. But it's from Antarctic Press, so that's cool. I do have some more Antarctic Press to cover. I'm looking forward to those. And I will be doing those separate videos. So what's going on out there, people? What is going on in the world of you? What is going on in the world in general? Everybody knows what's going on in the world in general. And that's why we don't talk about that type of stuff around here. But don't forget, order your shirts. The Joker here. Order your shirts now. Get them. Get them. Get to the Greek. You can also order my Chester Bennington shirt. You can order my American Horror shirt. Right there. And you can also order my Bad Habits shirt. Or you can get my Last Ronin Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt right there. Those are the ones that I will have available or have available right now. And you can order them up to sizes up to 5XL. So be sure to get them while you can. I mean, they'll be around for forever, pretty much. Unless people just start hating on them and don't like them and all that good stuff. So, there you go. So, welcome to the live, everyone. Thanks for the likes, the shares, and please like, share, and follow. And also, if you do, go up here. Not you guys on Facebook and YouTube, but you guys here on TikTok. You can go up here, find my website, and you can follow me on my other socials where we are going live right now as well on Facebook right now. We have one viewer over there, so pretty awesome, pretty awesome. I don't know what they're hearing. But, you know, what am I seeing? There it is. You get little tiny cobwebs, and it drives you nuts because you can see them, but you can't figure out where they are at the moment, especially when they're that close to you. But anyway, so we got artwork happening. I'm working on a kid's book right now for a friend of mine. I'm also working on 3 different commissions for another friend of mine. And then I've got a painting that I'm working on, an 8x10, for a memorial piece for a lost Poochie. Not lost, it passed away. So got that going on as well. So I got lots of stuff on my art desk, you know. Plus I've got my own projects that I'm doing with my comic book 4-issue miniseries that I'm still on issue number 1. I haven't written any more on it just because I'm doing everything else. I'm also in the works with a movie producer buddy of mine who approached me to do a horror western comic, and we're going to work on that. He's busy, I'm busy, so it's kind of a good thing right now because neither one of us can devote our time to the project as we want to, and that's fine. We can put that one on the side burner for a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. It's going to still happen. And thanks for the what's up there, Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. So there you go. So anyway, what do you do? What happens when life throws you those curveballs? What Me, like I said, I go with the flow. I got angry with some things that happened here recently, and but they're of my own volition, of my own making. You know, so I can't get too angry over it because I'm the one that caused it to happen. Which comment would that be? Um, what's up times 10? Is that what you're talking about? Or did you say something else? That's the only thing I see is what's up by 10. That's all I see. So if that's the comment you're talking about, yes, I see that comment. But welcome to the show, everybody. We are here to talk about, do you go with the flow? Do you get angry when life throws you curveballs? What do you do? Greetings from Iran. You missed. Well, congratulations, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but you know what? It is what it is. And if you are in Iran, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, but we don't talk about that stuff here. We move along from those comments because we don't talk politics here. You know, because everybody loses their damn minds whenever you start talking politics or religion. And so, you know, you guys have fun with that little talk and rant, and you enjoy yourself. You want to talk to an awesome friend that gives you motivation to keep going and help you stay on the right path. That's what Mr. Roy Joe Bradley Jr. does for whenever he gets into his little ruts or he gets into his life giving him a curveball. That's what he does. Talks to friends. And I get that. Friends are important, and I know what you're talking about there, buddy. And so, we always try to encourage each other, especially around here, because I've been to the pits of hell and back. You know, because the anniversary came and went uh, of my son's passing, which was the 16th of this month, and you know, it's it's one of those reflections that you look back on and you can let it eat your entire soul away. But you focus and look at things differently. You know, because the pain's never going to go away, no matter what happens. And because he passed on the 16th, and now his birthday is right around the corner, July 8th. You know, and so it, whenever that happens, he didn't even reach his 18th birthday. You know, and yes, I know who you're talking about there, Mr. Roy. I mean, they might not know, but you know, and if you need someone to talk to, he's a great person to talk to. And I appreciate that because I have been through a lot in my life. You know, a lot of tragedy, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of, you know, things that would destroy most people. And and so I try to keep it as positive and motivative as possible, motivational as possible, just because, you know, lots goes on in a person's life on a regular basis, and you don't get to see it because some people can mask it really well. And I'm one of those people that you're not going to see everything that's going on in my life because number one, I'm not going to let you see it. Even girlfriends or wives never got to see everything. I tried to put everything out there, but there's just certain things that you can't share because someone hasn't been through it. And so whenever all that happens, you just go with the flow. You let life happen. And and that's what I've done quite a bit of my life is let life happen because circumstances you can't change. There's certain circumstances that can't change and no matter what you do. And so you can either let it eat you up inside completely Or you can, you know, try to be a positive note to somebody else out there. And that's why I have right here on Facebook and YouTube this little hotline number up here. Either one, I think they both still work. I know the 800 number still works. I don't know about the other one yet. But, you know, those numbers are there for anybody that wants to use them. You feel like you want to be below dirt, call that number. Um, if you feel like you want to be below dirt, hit me up in DM. We'll chit chat. So on and so forth. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you can help somebody else, why not? You know, but we just like these two baby rabbits that we had yesterday that the neighbor's dogs stumbled upon in their little burrow. Um, the dogs actually took out two of them, and then the owners saw what was going on, went over there and grabbed the remaining two rabbits that were there. Well, we made another little burrow not too far from where that burrow was, and then we put them in it, covered them up, all that good stuff. And we got to doing research, and with a wild rabbit, they usually don't come back if their den has been disturbed. So we actually had to go collect them up again last night, and knowing that you see the mother rabbit running around, and but she's not going to the spot, you know, because unfortunately it was disturbed and by the dogs. But had she built it just X amount of feet on the other side of the fence, they would have been perfectly fine. But we understand why she did it because it's inside of a gated area. It was protected. But the dogs happened to stumble upon it, and that was it. So we thought we were going to be rehabilitating some baby bunnies, and I'm talking like this big of baby bunnies, this tall, this long, that's it, and almost the size of a playing card. And so we got a hold of a rehabber, and she was able to take them in and help grow them to get them back out into the wild. So, those are things that life happens. And, it's all about how you handle the situation, you know, and people handle it in different ways, 100%. And you just go with it. Me, I go with the flow, like I said, because what else are you going to do? Are you going to put holes in your wall? Are you going to go run your car through a fast food restaurant? You're seeing all kinds of weird stuff happening around. If you're watching TikTok long enough or Reels on Facebook or things like that, you see all kinds of weird stuff happening around. And, that's why me, go with your comic books. 100%. Go with your comic books. Because at least there's some good entertainment value there. Most of your TV today is trash. Most of your reality TV shows are trash. There's nothing just really good and sticks out in your mind. Whenever you flipping through some channels, and that goes for everything. I mean, movies, TV shows. That's why I watch a lot of the old stuff from back in the day, because even though it's not the best quality, it's still better than some of the shit that they're putting out today. You know, and that's sad, especially with all the technology that we have today to make movies with. The CGI effects or the actual prosthetics on a person. Like they used to do, and now it's all no. We can do this better with CGI, or let AI write up the character and throw it in. Which AI sucks anyway. So, and that's my opinion. I'm a traditional artist. I use, whoops, as I break it, I use the traditional way of doing stuff. Pen, pencil, paintbrush. You know, creativity comes from the mind. You know, not a keyboard. Oh, I want a skull with flames, with 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 demons flying in the background. Enter. Oh, look, that's so awesome. I made that in 2 seconds. No, you didn't make it. The computer made it. The program made it. You made shit. You know. And for people that praise the pictures that AI creates, you're idiots. Okay. But that's just my opinion, and we'll leave it at that. Just because you see it all the time, you know, they're taking credit for something that they did not create. They need to thank the program that they're using to create that and be like, hey, this program created this piece of artwork for me that you guys are looking at and loving, you know. But no, they take all the credit. I created that. I did this. I did that. No, you didn't do shit. Okay. So, again, my opinion. Everybody has their opinions, and some are right, some are wrong. And no, I'm not saying I'm right. I just know that, you know, AI is not the way to go if you're going to become an artist. You know, pick up your pencil, pick up your pens, pick up your markers, pick up your paintbrush. Learn how to blend your paint in with everything else. You know, learn how to become the next Joseph Michael Linsner. Learn how to become the next Bernie Wrightson. Learn how to become the next Frank Frazetta. You know, the list goes on and on. But in that token too, you want to be yourself. So you want to have your own style, your own look, something that is unique and catching that people can pick out and be like, "Hey, I know who did that." You know, it's like my crosshatch style that I use, and only mine's the only one that the professional colorist had seen ever, and that's a testament, you know, because he works in the industry. He works with Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Greg Capullo, um, Marvel, DC, Image Comics, a lot of independent comics. And for him to say, "Hey, I've never seen your style before. I love it. Keep it up." You know, that's a testament because um, he could have been like, "Oh, I've seen that style a million times. You know, it's okay. You know, it's hard for me to, you know, color around it and all that good stuff." But no, he was praising my style, and so that's a good thing. That boosts you up. That gets you, you know, to want to continue to do what you do. And, you know, that's why I do portraits for people because, you know, their loved one has passed away. Well, I get to share the the continuation of that person's story, you know, by in picture form. Um, and it's like I did a piece last year, and it was of a granddaughter that the grandmother never get to meet, but I was able to put them in a picture together, you know, and and the mother that commissioned it loved it because, you know, those two never got to meet in real life because the mother had passed away. Her mother had passed away several years before the baby was born, and Mr. Nice Guy. Hi, I remember you. Do you have the FYI videos of the Super Bowl rings you designed? I do not at this point in time. I've still got to find my portfolio. It's in storage somewhere, and they're here somewhere. I just got to dig them up. I just haven't had a chance to dig because I'm buried under between the artwork that I've got. So I've got 6 different pieces on my desk right now to work on, and I've got homesteading chores to do. So trying to find a portfolio that's buried in my closet somewhere is a little more difficult. But I will look it up, Mr. Nice Guy. I appreciate you remembering. I want to see the Super Bowl rings. I'm hoping I've got some of those in there. I can't say for sure because certain things we didn't get to keep. You know, whenever the company did shut down. So if we do have some in there, I will definitely put them on my page once I locate where that is. Um, Again, I've moved stuff around. as well. So I'm just looking real fast to see if I can see anything right here that screams, "Hey, here's your portfolio." And I don't see it just right off the look. So I'll give it a look see again, Mr. Nice Guy. And I appreciate you remembering, like I said. And and yes, I apologize. I was supposed to have already looked that up. And as a matter of fact, this is what we're gonna do. Look for old portfolio. Look for old portfolio for Super Bowl rings. Okay. Yeah. Y'all in the chat. He designed Super Bowl rings. Yes, when I worked for Award Design Metals, we created several different Super Bowl rings. Um, Several of them were for the Patriots, unfortunately. Um, we also did some Dallas Cowboy stuff back in the day. We had some bolo ties. We did a Super Bowl uh, belt buckle for that as well, which I have one running around here somewhere. It could be in my Dallas stuff in my Dallas room, or it's in a box that I still haven't got of stuff to put out. I didn't design that one, but it was already designed uh, whenever I got to the company, and so that one was pretty cool to actually get to purchase one from the company, and that was awesome. Well, those were more technical drawings of different things of belt buckles from the PBR, the NFR, NFYR, any rodeo you can think of. We probably had something to do with between 2001 and uh, correction, 1992 to 2001. So in that realm, and that is some pretty cool stuff that we got to design for many different companies out there, from Wrangler to Heston to, like I said, Professional Bull Riding Association. You name it, we did pretty much everything, from rings to belt buckles to all the high dollar bling that they got, all the trophy buckles that they won, those type things. So if I did that kind of work, I would definitely be proud of that work. I am. I'm proud of it. You know, um, because it sustained me for quite a while in the realm of just life, because that's what I got to do every day. I got to design. I got to do belt buckles. I got to draw. And it wasn't just Western stuff that we drew. We did firefighter stuff. We did um, all kinds of different things. The list goes on because everybody thinks belt buckles. They think Western only. Well, no, it's not just Western. There's a lot that encompasses everything. You know, and yes, your jewelry was a little on the Western side, and you were always doing all kinds of different things because you had salespeople in the house that were looking for specific things for clientele. you know. And so we would have to take their vision of what they thought they wanted and create it into something that would actually work, you know. And sometimes that was very difficult in the design process because they had this elaborate little thing that they wanted or thought that would sell real easily, those type things. But, when it came down to it, we had to create the design that would actually look good and that would actually sell. Did you do any New York City 911 artwork? Um, no, we did not do any of that stuff because the 9/11. I'm trying to think of where I was on that year because I know where I was at the. Oklahoma City bombing because I was working for that company, Award Design Metals, at that point in time. And let me see here. But yeah, we didn't do any New York City stuff. This happens. So I'm trying to think if the company that I was working for at the time, because I worked with two different companies there, War Design Metals and um, Midwest Trophy, because in 2001, yeah, there was a lot of that stuff once it hit, and I'm just trying to see where I was at that point in time. Um, you're being slow as Christmas over here. I don't know why this is all of a sudden just so dark. I kind of know why. I'm just looking over here because I've got all kinds of stuff on my computer. But I'm not seeing what. And everything's kind of funkified on me anyway over here. This computer just needs to restart. So we're gonna do that. See if we can't find what I'm looking for over here. But as far as I know, no, I did not do any 9/11 stuff. Um, because oh, what the hell is going on? Christmas. Okay, everything is wanting to run like pond water today. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, wake up. All right. So what are we being asked here? Always, we always want to hear something neat from Enjoy Life. That is restarting, so we're gonna get that going. So, all right. So, yeah, I will be looking for that just because I know I've got them here, and I don't know about the Super Bowl stuff. I don't know if that's in there. But 2001, no, that was my transition year of when the 9/11 stuff happened, and so I was in a transition year and I was going from one business to another, so we did not design any of that type of stuff at that point in time, because the award design medals was shutting down in 2001, and they were transferring people from that store or that business to Midwest Trophy at the time. So yeah, we did not design anything like that because it was a big transition period for everybody. Um, and now had award design medals stuck around a little bit longer, yes, I'm sure we would have done some memorial stuff for all of that. And but we just didn't because of that transition period of going from one business to another, transferring all the equipment over, all of the die casting materials to a new company. So yeah, we did not design anything for that. So no, I did not have my hands in any of that stuff, Mr. Nice Guy. But I appreciate the question. And so yeah, there's that. But no, I will definitely look it up and try to put it out there, and hopefully you will get to see it if I do have any of it. I was hoping to find some over here on the computer real fast, but it was acting up, so had to restart it, and now I'm just waiting on it to come back up to life. It's alive, as young Frankenstein would say. But yeah, no, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff that I'm behind on. Just like getting the rest of this finished so I can get it shipped off, and then getting my all this other artwork at least started because it's been in the works for a little bit, and I'm ready to get it off my table, and I'm sure they're ready to get it as well. So there is that. So as we've talked about so far, is what projects you working on now? Well, I'm working on a book for a friend of mine, a book cover, which will turn into most likely the remainder of the pages, which are going to be more than 16 pages inside interior book for this kid's book that is the story of his life, basically. He's a boxer, and he's had to go through a lot of adversities, and that's what this book shows, how to get past adversities and get back up. You get knocked down, you get back up, you know. And then I've got 3 projects for one person. Um, he's a big God of War guy, so that's part of what it is entailing on that one, which is 3 different pieces. Uh, Not all of them are related. And then I've got I'm doing the front and back cover for that book. Like I said, I'm doing 3 pieces for him. I've got a painting of a memorial for a dog that passed away. So I'm not working on the video game. I'm working on uh, the character from the video game, and I'm working on some Keyblade stuff with Kingdom Hearts and things of that nature, but not for the company. So not yet, anyway. One of these days, I will. You know. And then again, I've got my own projects in the works, my own comic books, 4-issue miniseries that I'm working on, that I've had to put on the back burner just a little bit because of all these projects that I've got going in the works right now. So I've got a lot on the plate, and which I love, you know. But I also wish I had a full day to devote to nothing but artwork. But I can't because I've got homesteading chores to do. I've got buildings to build. I've got animals to relocate. I've got, all that good stuff happening too. So life is always exciting around here, around these parts, around, yeah. And that's the way we like it because, I'm also doing 3D prints as well. I'm wanting to learn the whole STL. Oh, just what characters have I worked on? I haven't designed any of them, but I've worked on pretty much any video game character that you can think of. Um, I've probably drawn it at some point in time or another. Uh, and if I haven't, someone can commission me to do one, because I've done it. I've drawn a lot of stuff in my lifetime, and I couldn't pinpoint just what all characters that I've done. I mean, it's just like the Joker. I've drawn several different Jokers, in my lifetime, and this is one of them. In the painting that I've got, right there. And so, you know, you can pick up one of those. You can pick up a shirt. You can pick up, a print that I will be having. I don't have it just yet, but I will, because I'm redoing my stock for this year. So, and that is a big part of why I'm not doing comic book conventions this year. Is because I'm in the rebuild phase of my business. So, as most of you know, this is the first year of 412 Productions, and it's been going pretty strong. Uh, I was under a different moniker before, but I killed that moniker and transitioned to 412 Productions, and that is going to be the moniker from here on out. Just because you always wonder why a business drops off for you later on as a business. You some people don't have that problem, but I started noticing a decrease. But once I did everything, you know, what I consider selling class courses. I mean, I've done them before, um, with some local people that wanted some art classes, you know, and I'm never opposed to making money, you know, and that's just one of those things I'd have to look at to see, if I could devote, time to it. That's the biggest thing is time, because throughout the day I'm doing all my projects, and then at a certain time I have uh, animal chores to do, and then I go back to artwork, and then the girlfriend comes home for lunch. I spend that with her, and then I go back to artwork, and then I go into the whole um, homesteading lifestyle, which is tending the garden, tending the animals, um, continue building on the chicken coop that I've got working on right now. Hollywood is in transition stage right now. It's kind of slow, and Mr. Roy Joseph's chat, I got one of his Joker shirts. It's pretty cool, just like what Monty is wearing. Yes, I'm promoting my work. It's got the logo on it and everything right down here in the corner. This shirt has already been washed 3 times, and it still looks brand new. You know, so that's a testament to that. Let me get back over here real fast. Nope, it's still loading. Okay, it's a little slow. It's an older computer, just like this one is, but this one runs a little bit faster than this one over here. So, but it was still loading on some stuff. So I'm gonna look over here real fast and see if I can't find what I'm looking for, which I may or may not be able to. I don't know, because I think it's on this one. Again, I'm not 100% sure where it is actually located at. And I'm just looking under different titles, because sometimes you put stuff in there and it's not where it's supposed to have been, or not what it actually says. So let's go that route. Again, you just look at everything and you see what's out there. for? I'm gonna have to do some searching because I am not seeing this. What I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for on that one. What do we got here? That holds up well after 3 washes. Well, the secret to it is I never dry them. I wash them on a low cycle, light cycle, and then I never dry it. I hang it up to dry. So that's the secret to getting your clothes to last a long time, especially graphic shirts, things of that nature. So I'm just looking. I've got hard drives all over the place, so I'm just looking to see what I've got in all my different spots. But of course, everything wants to be a little bit on the slow side. Looking at this, not there. But yeah, no, it's if I could find some of that stuff, it'd be cool just to pop it up and show. Like I said, if I knew where my other one was, this is some older stuff. Some of my Colin Wood revisited for an old TV show. That one was fun. I'm just looking at some of my older stuff. I had a military dude that wanted me to draw one of his exes, and but of course he wanted an alien in a certain part of the body. So let's see. How do you buy the shirt? Do you have it on TikTok Shop? No, I do not have it on TikTok Shop. You can order it directly from me. I'll send you my uh, cash stuff, Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, and all you gotta do is DM me, and we will get payment, and then we'll order the shirt. And so, well, this has got some older stuff, but it's not what I'm looking for. I mean, I probably could. I just haven't done that yet. As far as putting it on Amazon, yes, I probably could. Again, like I said, I just haven't done that yet. I wish I could find it, but I can't. I don't know where it is. I see everything else. It's in a hidden folder somewhere. But yeah, no, I will find this stuff and I will put some stuff up out there because it's here somewhere. I just can't find it right this second. Because I know I've got a portion of stuff from that period on my computer somewhere on one of my hard drives. I just don't know which one it is. And so, let's see what's in here. No, not going to be in there. There's nothing on that one. Okay. All right, now I don't know where it is. I'm looking for it on my computer again because I've got some stuff out there on the computer too, but I was hoping to find it. But no, there's a lot of things that I'm wanting to do. I want to be on Amazon as far as the seller Not just this shirt, but my Last Ronin shirt, my Bad Habit shirt, my American Horror shirt, my Chester Bennington shirt. All of these things I have lofty goals and plans for. But right now, I'm just taking orders as individuals of them. And Monty and everybody on here have an awesome day. What, you going to bed? Wow, you're going to cut short the show. You've only got 10 minutes left of the show, pretty much. But you go do you, man. You've been up all night long doing your dance party for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes. I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate you dancing for the Thunder. You know, as you always do. And the Oklahoma City Sooners. I got you. But you have a great night, Mr. Roy, Joe, Twinkle Toes, Sparkle Butt, Bradley Twilight Jr. Get you some sweet dreams since your Thunder won tonight or last night, and in grand fashion. And we will see you on the flip side, buddy. But no, I got a lot of stuff that I am looking forward to doing, and being a and I am truly a small business since it is just me, and I am revamping everything because I'm going to be offering up canvas prints and T-shirts, and as well as my 11 by 17 prints like this one here. With my new little foil that goes on everything now. When it all is said and done, when it goes out, it's a nice little foil sticker so that you remember where it all came from. And it's just fun. And all this new stuff that I'm doing and designing is cool. It's fun. Like all my paintings like this, they get the 1-to-1 sticker on it. This says, "Hey, this is a 1-to-1." It says, "Thank you for the purchasing a 1-of-1 art piece from 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson," and it gives you my Gmail on there, my email account. So if you want to order something for yourself, commission, whatever, you can do so by hitting me up. Now, that's what social media is for as well. And that's where I get a lot of my artwork, or a lot of my commissions from, is social media. Um, as well as when I'm at the comic book conventions, I get repeat business and things of that nature. So it's always exciting, and that's why I'm ready to get back into the comic book convention field, is because you get to meet a lot of new people, and you get to meet a lot of fans that have been following you for years, and you know, then they tell their friends because, hey, he's going to be at the show, so why don't you come with me? Those type of things. And then they become family at that point, because after you buy something from me, you're not just a fan or a commission piece. You become family at that point in time. And you know the one that I've got three different pieces on over here is a guy that I met 2 years ago in Bastrop, Texas, and he's been a continuous purchaser ever since. And do you go to the horror sci-fi conventions? I have gone to a couple of those. I'm looking to do more this next year in 2026 because I've actually got to start looking at January on dates, and and I'm looking for 3-day shows, and those are the most lucrative ones because they start on a Friday and then it goes to a Saturday and a Sunday, and it encompasses all 3 days of the weekend. Yeah, Friday's a little bit shorter, but it still starts at a certain point in time, like 1 o'clock, and goes to like 8. So you're getting basically 7 hours of sales time, you know. And then your next 2 days they start at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and don't finish until sometimes 8 o'clock at night. And some of the great shows, and that's what I'm looking to do more of, is 3-day shows. And they're hard to find. There are a few of them out there, and then I know some of the bigger coasts, the east and west coast, they're a lot more lucrative on the 3-day shows out there. But travel to them is the killer, because with all the stuff that I bring with me, I have to drive. So, and I'm not looking for a 20-hour drive just to do a 3-day show. But if it's going to be lucrative, yes, I'll do it. If it's going to bring me in $2,000 or $3,000 for the weekend, of course. Why wouldn't I? But you can't foresee what the convention is going to hold for you, just because there's so much talent out there, um, that you are in competition with other people, but you're not in competition. Because your artwork stands alone on its own. It's just like the shirts; they stand alone on their own. You're not going to find another one out there like this. You know, there might be some imitations out there, but it will not be exactly like this. Just like my other shirt, and just like my other shirt. Well, it's not another shirt; it's another painting I did of the Joker, which sold just like that. Um, it would make a great shirt as well, because it's more of a brooding Joker, because his head's down, he's looking up, he's got the big smile on his face, and I did the little continuation of the smile on out, just like I did on that one too. Um, but it's more maniacal. It's more like, um, serial Schmiller esque, you know, and it just looks cool. It would make a great T-shirt as well. So I might end up with two different Joker shirts, but I definitely will have the prints of both of those available, for as canvas prints and 11 by 17 prints. And I just got to pare it down, because I've got three portfolios of work down here at my feet right now, and not including the one that's got all my old stuff from back in 1991 to or 1992 to 2001. You know, and which doesn't even really see the light of day anymore, because it, I don't work on that type of stuff anymore. This is the stuff I do right here, and my Venom, will probably end up being a shirt at some point in time. Maybe, I haven't decided, because this glows in the dark and looks cool under black light. You know, and then of course this one I've already turned into canvas, and I've already sold some of these canvas prints, but that's the original, not the canvas. The canvas is locked up over here, back in its wrapping. But yeah, those, it's all a rebuild. It's all a rework. It's all a hey, we are going to be making a big presence when we come back to the comic book convention realm. You know, and even though you apply for some of them, you might not get into all the ones that you want to get into, and which happens. You know, and and I get it, but it's just expensive hobby, if you will, because you have to, you got to pay for your booth rental, you got to pay for your hotel room, you got to pay for your gas, you got to pay for your food, and that's just right off the bat. So you have to recoup all that money on that weekend. Otherwise, you didn't even do anything, you know. And sometimes your table rentals for your booth rentals can be upwards of $400, you know. And if you get a double booth space, they catch you a little bit of a discount, but you know, um, you're still looking at, you know close to $800 just for a double booth space, and so you got to recoup all that money, because you're already in the negative before you even get to the show. So that's the bad part about conventions. You start out in the negative until you break even, and then whatever you make after that is your profit margin. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, you're just here making money left and right. No, you're not. Oh, that would be cool to have a distributor for my shirts, 100%. And I possibly um, could do that because I do have a friend that I could probably put it on his website or his section because it's a Legacy Comics, and it would be real easy for him to pop lock and sell them all like that, you know, and which wouldn't be difficult at all. But I like to handle all the distribution myself because I get the orders done, I get them in house, I ship them to the people, put my little notes in there with them and all that good stuff, and we go from there. So, but it's fun. I like it. I like to handle it all, and that's just like all the prints that come into house. And if I could get them into Walmart, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Um, but then there gets into all the licensing and all that good stuff, because even though we're small fries, you know, DC's not going to come after us, just like they don't come after all the other people that do all the artwork, um, that have never done anything for DC. Just like if somebody was to draw Wolverine, which I've done, they're not going to come. Marvel's not coming after me because I'm a small fish in the sea, you know. And so many other people um, draw the same characters on a regular basis, and you know, and people that actually work in the industry get to see them, and they praise them and all that good stuff. And that's how some people like myself actually get to work for Marvel or DC or excuse me, Image Comics or things like that is because our work gets seen. Let's take Brian Denham for example. The first time I met him was in 96 at the Dallas. It was 96 or 94 at the Dallas Fantasy Fair, and he was an unknown at the time. He had his first comic book out called My Name Is Mud. And as I'm walking through the convention, I see him. I walk over to him, and he's sitting there coloring a life-size cutout of his character Mud. And he's coloring it with pen. And I'm sitting there watching him, and we're chit chatting back and forth a little bit. I pick up his comic book. He had a gold sticker that went with it, and boom, done. Well, later on in that show, Rob Liefeld says, "Hey, we want you to come work for us at Image Comics," and that's how his career started on the industry side. He was an unknown. He got picked up by them, and the rest is history. Now he is a editor at Antarctic Press. He still does some Image Comics titles and things like that. Uh, Not as much as he used to, but he does a lot of stuff with Antarctic Press and some other independent companies out there as well. I met him again last year. No, the year before last. And I actually took my Dallas Fantasy Fair that he had already signed on the inside, but he signed by Gil Kane on the outside, you know. And we got to chit chatting back and forth, and we became friends on Facebook, and we still communicate, and he's in the industry, you know, and me, I'm just this unknown guy who has to take this little puzzle piece on TikTok and slide it across. So, but yes, distribution to Walmart would be awesome for any of my stuff, you know. Um, and I used to work for Walmart, so there you go. Have you ever met Stan Lee, and what was he like? Yes, I met Stan Lee. I have his autograph on a box in here. I met him in '97, and a very cool guy. Uh, he was old at the time then, as well, but very very cool guy. Had a lot of stories to talk about, but he couldn't tell them all just because we're sitting there, and I put my box on the table. I actually had another comic book signed by him too at the same time. It was an Amazing Spider-Man, but I can't remember which one it was, what number it was, because unfortunately that one sold a long time ago in 2010 for a house I no longer live in or a woman I'm no longer married to. So, uh, and that's hindsight 2020, I would have kept comic books. I would have kept them around over the other. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, but no, he was a really nice guy. That typical look you see, you know, um, if you ever look at any of his convention photos and things like that, that's what it was. I mean, he was there having fun with the people because he's created this mass world, with Kirby and Ditko and Yanko, and I mean the list goes on and on of people that he's touched and helped create a living universe from, with all the Marvel characters. And then, of course, some of his characters he did with DC whenever Marvel let him go. And a lot of people didn't know that Marvel let him go. And he did a stint at DC for a while. And but he is the face of Marvel. That's why they had him as a cameo in all the movies. And they even thought about, oh, we need to do a CGI of him, in later movies and things like that. And everybody was just like, no, no, let's not do a CGI of Stan Lee. You can do little homages to him by things in signage, names of restaurants and different billboards and things like that. But let's not put a CGI image of him walking around in the movies, you know, after he passed, of course. And so there's that. I mean, he was a great guy. Uh, and I'm not gonna say he was a great guy just because I only got to see him from the comic book side, what he created and when I met him. That's the image I have of him. I don't know what he was like as a true person. I don't know if he was a jerk. I don't know if he was, a dog beater. I don't know if he was, whatever. All I knew him as was Stan Lee, the face of Marvel. Good guy whenever I met him and talked to him for the autographs and things like that. So, you know, and it's just like all the other people that you meet. You don't know what they're really like outside of, you know, their their persona that they portray while they're at the show. And it's just like me here. You don't know what I'm really like other than what you're seeing portrayed here on screen. You know, you know, because I can get angry really fast. That's one of my flaws is that I can fly off the handle real fast, and it's not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. And so, but and I don't like it in myself, and that's why my PTSD level is pretty high according to the VA, and I am a disabled veteran as well, and so it's just one of those things that you live with. You learn to try and control it. That's why you go to therapy a lot. Well, I do anyway. And so you know, you try to make the day as best as possible. And I appreciate the likes, the love there on the side, and it's much appreciated. No, no, I'm in the Arkansas area, and I moved over here in 2010 from Oklahoma side. So that's why I'm happy the Oklahoma City Thunder won last night, the championship, bringing it into Oklahoma for the first time in franchise history. And so there you go. I see you too. But the fact is, we all go through stuff in life, and that's what the point of the show is to talk about different things, different aspects, different avenues. Talk about comic books, all that good stuff. But we also talk about real life and like when life throws you a curveball, what do you do with it? Do you go with the flow like some people do, or do you let life dictate the rest of your life? Such as, if it's going to be you wake up in a shitty mood, is that how the rest of the day is going to be? Or do you wake up in a happy mood and then something happens and it turns into a shitty mood? Those type of things. All kinds of different things happen through life, and all kinds of different things, you know, dictate what happens each day, but it's how we handle it as a person. You know, do we go with the flow, or do we change the course of that flow for ourselves? And I'll leave you with that thought. But as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.